Today I will be covering my lesson plan I have done for JLZ 300. My name is Eden Horcroft and my student number is u23553198. So the topic I chose was with my methodology, which is technology. So the subject is technology. The grade I've chosen is for grade 9, so senior phase. Theme is structures, and the topic I will be covering during this lesson is the characteristics of materials that is covered in term 1, usually the first or the second week of term 1 during the school year. So the instructional communication I have given during this lesson will be in the form of PowerPoint slides. I will be giving a presentation using the PowerPoint slides during the class. I will also be giving instructions on the smart task given that I will be explaining a little later. But during this task, I will be giving students questions to answer in groups, and so I will be giving them instructions on how to answer these questions in order to make sure that the class has order and does not go out of order. And I will also be giving instructions on activity 6 given at the end of the lesson. During this time, I will just be explaining to them what will be expected during this activity and then give them some time to work on it before leaving class. To create a social space in the classroom during the lesson, I have created a hook in the beginning of my lesson to include students being active in class. I have presented a way by ensuring that all students have a chance to work with another student in order to observe or look at different materials and see and test them in different ways to see the characteristics of that material. For example, bending a steel ruler to see how far it bends, or pulling on or trying to tear a piece of paper and seeing how it tears, things like that. That keeps them active and also able to be a bit more social in the class. Afterwards, I will also allow students to ask questions during my lesson, and also I'll be asking questions for the students as well for them to answer. That way they will be able to ask if they don't understand, as well as I can see if they really do understand the work I have been explaining to them or not. Then the last thing I have given as a social space in the classroom is a smart activity, as it is a group activity in which they will be split up into groups of 3 students each, and these students have to discuss together in order to answer the questions that are on the board. They will have a paper to write it on, and also so they can learn from each other, as well as me as a teacher. I will be walking around and also explaining to them if they have any questions, and also seeing if I can give them some guidelines to follow while answering these questions. So, the challenges I expect during this lesson is keeping order during the hook of the lesson might be very difficult. I will try and keep order by making sure that the students aren't all bunched together, but rather that they're split up into 2 by 2s or like into pairs, and also I will be monitoring these groups and going to them, seeing what they're testing, what methods are they using, what characteristics are they testing of the material, and things like that. The next thing that I see as a challenge is some students might still feel too shy to ask questions when they do not understand or ask for help. I will be trying to prevent this challenge by making sure I ask most of the students or all of the students at least one question to see where they are with the lesson, to see if they understand it, if they're keeping up. If they do not, I will also be looking at expressions and also just having a feel of the classroom to see if they do understand the word before moving on to the next section. The last thing that might be a challenge is a smart activity, as it might cause some students to feel left out if they're not asked to join a group. For example, if a student does not have friends in the class, no one might ask that student to join their group for the activity. I will be facing this challenge or fixing this challenge by assigning students to groups, that therefore they're not choosing their own groups, but rather me choosing the groups for them, so that no one feels excluded and that everyone is included during the class activity. Thank you so much. I hope by implementing these JLZ things of communication, instructional communication, as well as social communication in the classroom, to make sure that it is formal and still orderly in the class, but however also making sure that the students feel like they are being seen and valued and can also feel a bit more free in the class to be themselves. Thank you.